This video presentation is brought to you by the Pro Mathematics Academy. Welcome back to this video presentation brought to you by the Pro Mathematics Academy, of course, right? And in this video, we'll be continuing our series on the circle, right? And this is actually the last part of our series, which will talk about the circumference of the circle. So far, we've been using the term circumference to mean the circle, but there's also another interpretation that is given to the circumference, right? And that is conceptualizing or understanding the circumference as a measure, right? So whenever someone says the circumference, it can actually mean what is this measure, okay? So we want to think about the circumference as the distance around the circle. So if we can find that distance around the circle, then that is what we call the circumference, all right? So note here, right? Note here that the word circumference can be used to refer to the circle, which means here I give you an example. Sometimes we say touching the circumference, right? The only way you can be touching the circumference, right, is if you're touching the circle. So that's what the term touching the circumference means. Not that we're touching the measure, okay? We're touching this. If you hear the term touching the circumference, then obviously that is using circumference to mean circle, okay? Right, and we jump right in to an example question. Here it says find the circumference of the circle below. So here we're being asked to find the circumference, so therefore this must mean that the circumference is something that we have to measure. So here the formula, right, for circumference is C equals 2 pi multiplied by the radius, okay? So this formula is actually very important. It's just as important as the formula for the area of a circle. Okay, so notice that here we need the radius. We need the radius in order to find the circumference, okay? Much the same way, if we have the radius, we can find the area. So here the radius is given to us. We can observe the radius from this picture, right? So if we're looking at this, we'll see that 25 centimeters is the radius. So therefore, we can write down our circumference here to be 2 times pi times 25, which is equal to 50 times pi, which is the same as 50 times 22 divided by 7. I go to my calculator really quickly and I punch in this figure, and my calculator says 157.14 centimeters. Okay, so here the reason our units is given in centimeters is that we are measuring a length, okay? So if we're measuring a length, then our units remain in the units given. But if we're measuring an area, then the units must be squared. That is it for this video. Please remember to hit the notification bell, like, share, and subscribe for future post notification.